Welcome to the Truman Library and Museum in Independence, Missouri. I'm Amy Williams, the Deputy Director of the library. The Truman Library is just over 50 years old, and in our 50 years we've welcomed over 8 million visitors to our establishment. When President Truman established this library in 1957, he envisioned it as a place for people to come and learn about the office of the President and to experience the decision-making powers of the presidency through the actual life and times of Harry S. Truman. The library has stayed true to the original vision of Harry S. Truman over the years by focusing on the decisions that he himself made in the office of the President to help educate and enlighten people on how a president makes decisions, how the information that comes through his office is processed, and how he comes to a decision that will affect not only the United States and its citizens, but the world at large. When you visit the library in Independence, Missouri, you'll have the opportunity to go through an exhibit that focused solely on President Truman's 8 years in office. It's called The Presidential Years, and it takes you through every major decision of Mr. Truman's during his years in the White House. In our lower gallery, our permanent exhibit is The Life and Times of Harry S. Truman, which focuses on Truman the man, his lifetime from his birth in Lamar, Missouri, through his life and retirement in Independence, Missouri. There are lots of hands-on activities for children, as well as gaming that children can do. They can race Mr. Truman from Independence to Grandview, Missouri, as he travels home after visiting his fiancée, Bess Wallace, here in Independence. Come experience what the Dallas Morning News calls the best presidential library in the country. When the library opened in 1957, Mr. Truman came to his working office within the library walls 5 days a week, sometimes 6. And there are people who remember calling the library asking what the hours were for the museum, and Mr. Truman himself would sometimes answer the phone. So he was an integral part of the library in the first few years, even training the first class of docents how to give tours. He often would have staff gather school groups in the auditorium so that he could come speak with them. There are many people in Independence today who remember coming here as a child and having Mr. Truman unexpectedly gather them into the auditorium and talk with them. Mr. Truman is a living, breathing part of our museum, and we're very proud to represent his history.